Coming to you live from the Chamber of Haunters Studios, this is Haunting You. I'm John Schelt.
I'm Keoni Hutton.
And I'm Leslie Reed.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Haunting You podcast. We are so excited to have you here. We are deep into convention season. It is March 1st. HauntCon kicked off just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, I got to level with all the listeners real quick. We're recording this on September 8th. HauntCon's in like 2 days. I have no idea how it's going to go, but I think I'm really optimistic. I think this would be awesome.
That's all you liar.
I guess we'll find out. But it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Just want to throw out a couple of really huge upcoming events before we dive into the topic of today's podcast. In just a few days from now, we have Transworld Halloween Attraction Show in St. Louis, Missouri. It is kicking off March 7th to the 10th. That is the biggest haunted attraction trade show in the country. If you have not gone, you may want to consider going. St. Louis, Missouri, March 7th to the 10th. But that is not the show that we are here to talk about today. We want to continue on in the theme of the last few episodes, highlighting the convention season, getting us hyped for all of the exciting events that are about to kick off. And in true Haunting You fashion, we are digging back into what we have already done before because we're out of original ideas and well, not really.
No, they're just, otherwise occupied.
Yeah.
Our ideas are otherwise occupied?
Yes.
Fun. I like that.
Yeah, we're going to stick with that. But anyway, so we are bringing back a Haunting You favorite that we had here last year, talking about her brand new event. Well, last year she was talking about her brand new event that was just a couple of weeks away from kicking off and ended up just being absolutely freaking spectacular. And we are super excited that they have decided to do another show down in Athens, Georgia. We have brought back Roseann Harpold from HauntFest to talk about their new show coming up here in just over a month. Roseann, welcome back to the Haunting You podcast.
Thank you.
Before we jump into the new show, we have to talk a little bit about how HauntFest Mayhem went just about a year ago. Talk a little bit about the show and your experience.
Well, it was a lot bigger than I expected. I mean, of course, I wanted there to be a lot of people there and I believed in it, but oh my God. I was running around the whole time. I didn't get a second to myself because there were so many people coming in. The line was out the door the whole night. The bands were amazing. People seemed to be having a great time. We got a lot of good feedback. Parking, we ran out of parking early on. And so I had parking. I was throwing friends outside, take care of this. Can you find somewhere for this car to be? And they had walkie-talkies. It was insane. But it went astronomically well. And I'm just so glad that it went the way that it did. Despite, it was even sprinkling that day. And there were all sorts of things weirdly going wrong here and there. But all in all, the whole thing came together and ended up being just incredible. So
you alluded to it a little bit. What was the thing that ended up being super frustrating that you didn't even think was going to be an issue?
Well, big time parking. We also there were a few different things we had the sink overflow randomly in the back. We had there were some people last minute, and because it's a volunteer event, it's you can't really be mad, but also we lost people last minute. And so I just was having to pull people, shout out to my friend Matt, because he showed up, he had bought a ticket and was just hanging out. And I was like, we got to put you to work. I'm sorry. But, and then I had my dad at concession stands and the concession stand, and he had to cook the burgers, wrap the burgers, sell the burgers. And there was a line forever because we lost our concession person.
Oh no.
Be there with us.
That's such a cute person.
Oh. Yeah, so Matt was the runner, and so he would just run to whatever thing was missing a person whenever they needed it. And I think he walked quite a few miles that evening.
He got his steps in, right?
Yeah, but there's just all sorts of little things that, would happen, and you're like, all right, you got to go take care of that now. But it worked out good, though.
I remember your dad was going to be setting up a mini haunted house there at the show. How did it work?
That was another thing that was surprising to me. So we just kind of had to throw something together because we didn't have woods to work with. We didn't really have a space at all. And so we just had some black tarp and rope. And he was like roping trees together and throwing tarp over it, and we had like glow sticks in there. And I mean, it seemed like it got a few good scares, even though it was kind of like a weird random setup. But the line for that was insane. For whatever reason, I guess I just thought that they would just run through and there would never really be a line. They'd just be going through. But that line wrapped like all the way around the venue. It was crazy.
Yeah. And you had a ton going on. Like there was the haunt, there was food, you had conflict going on, there was the vendors doing sales and stuff. And still, it sounds like people were getting backed up all over the place. Yeah,
it was amazing. But also, we don't want it to get backed up. We want a lot of people to be there. So this year we're trying to improve, some of our systems and make sure there's a will call line in the front and all sorts of processes for the trail. Now that I know that's also insane. So learned a lot, to say the least.
Yeah. Well, what a great segue into what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the episode. Your next event, April Ghouls, which I just absolutely freaking love the name of.
On brand for you.
Very, very on brand. But April Ghouls, April 6th and the 7th. Athens? Still in Athens?
Yes, still in Athens at Southern Brewing Company.
The Southern Brewing Company. Is this a new venue or is that where you had it last time?
This is a new venue. It was at Rabbit Hole Studios last year, but right. Southern Brewing was like, we'll do it for free. And I was like, oh my God. And there's beer. So
even better.
Yeah.
So how did that partnership end up happening?
Honestly, it was just a dream come true. I just showed up to meet him. I never really mentioned anything about like needing sponsors, and he just straight up was like, yeah, you can just do it here. And I was like, what do you mean? And of course we met after, like with the management, and they were like, oh, we want to support the community and help people do this, but like we also have so many inquiries now that we're gonna have to start charging for it, but not now. He was like, you're good for now. He's like, if you come back next year, maybe we'll charge you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But it's pretty great. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Are they gonna, start doing stuff with? I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna provide alcohol as well as space, right?
Oh yeah, and they have this amazing backwoods area that actually is woods, which is where the trail's going to be this year.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you're actually gonna be able to set up a trail rather than stringing up tarps.
Oh yeah, and there's this really neat bamboo forest back there that's super spooky, just even in the daytime. So I'm excited to see what we can do with that space.
Sounds like the perfect venue. So
yeah, it really does.
Let's talk about how to get there. If people want to attend April 6th, wait, 2 days. 2 days now, not one.
Yes.
Talk about it.
Oh, okay. You made a face. I wasn't sure.
He makes lots of faces.
It's okay. That's just the face. It's all right.
Yeah. So after last year went so well, I was really considering doing a full weekend, and I really did want to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but they have an event on Friday already. So they were like, we'll let you do Saturday and Sunday. So we're working with that, and Sunday's gonna like start and end an hour earlier than Saturday, just because it's the end of the weekend. But strangely, it has not really affected planning as much as I thought it would, because it's different bands, different vendors and stuff, but it's like the same process. So
yeah,
I'm really excited that it can be 2 days and it not be like overwhelmingly difficult to plan. But I'm hoping in the future maybe I can end up doing a full weekend like a lot of these conventions do.
Sure,
but it'd be a festival.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of ride the line between convention and festival already.
Mm-hmm.
How did that end up working out last year, kind of combining those, what you would see at the traditional Halloween convention or enthusiast convention, along with a music festival?
I think, like, growing up going to festivals, I always remember there being vendors and there being music. And so to me, it felt like a festival.
Uh-huh.
But I also know that, some people don't spend as much time at the booths. And so they're like, I want more activities to do if it's a festival. So that's another thing this year. We're like trying to add more things that make people want to stay longer like a festival rather than running through, looking at everything and feeling like there's nothing else to do. But I love the festival aspect because I feel like the convention conventions now are more geared toward the haunters and not just the normal like customer.
Yeah.
Whereas this is more focused on like anyone who loves Halloween can come. It's not, to buy a smoke machine. It's to buy like a fun little thing, like a bone necklace or,
Right.
But I really try to emphasize the festival part less or more than the convention part. Also because it's indoor outdoor.
Sure.
A lot of conventions seem to be more indoor. And so this is supposed to be a little more like an atmosphere that you walk into and can experience and do things there.
But let's talk about all the things you can be doing. What's the best way to talk about this? Should we go like talk Saturday, then Sunday? Or do you just want to hit kind of all the major areas?
Probably overall is good because they mostly overlap. There's a few things that are different, but
okay, let's start with tickets then. If people want to attend, how much are tickets? Where do they buy them?
Tickets are $15 a day, or you can go both days for $25.
Solid,
and you go,
$5.
yeah. And if you want to get the tickets, you can go to www.hauntfest.us. But there's also other ticket tiers. You can get an RIP, really important person ticket.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Well played.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Oh yeah. But there's different tiers to that. So like I think tier 1 is like you can get in early for the vendors and get priority parking and stuff like that. And then as you go up, it goes up in price and you get like merch. And the very last one includes flesh hook suspension, which we can talk about later. And then the Haunted Trail tickets. Sorry?
Kay has a confused look on the...
I think I heard her say flesh hook suspension.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You
coming
heard
back
correctly.
To that. Finish the thought. We're coming back to that.
Okay. But yeah, you can also get a Haunted Trail ticket. Unlimited pass is $15 and a single pass is $8. So I think it's worth it to get unlimited.
Yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. And hours for the events, Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yes. Saturday is 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. and then Sunday's 11 p.m. to 11 p.m. Or sorry, what did I just say?
11 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Wow, that was amazing. 4 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay. 5 to midnight on Saturday and 4 to 11 on Sunday.
Yes.
Got it. And I see there's a kids hour listed here on the website. What's the kids hour?
So basically, if you come before 6 p.m., the spooks and everything will be kind of stowed away. We'll probably have them at the street trying to pull people in rather than being in spooking everybody. So if you have young kids who may be, extremely afraid and want to come earlier, that's probably the best time for them. It's kind of like a family hour type deal where there's free pumpkin painting for the kids and there's like a trick or treat. We're going to have vendors and people who bring their cars are going to have like, candy to hand out, and that'll hopefully encourage people to go visit everybody. But I'm trying to think. Of course, there's the hayride. That'll be going the whole time, but there's a lot more, kid-friendly activities before 6. And then at 6 will be the release of the ghouls, and then they'll be out, Of course, if your kids want to stay, there's no kicking anyone out or anything, but you can get like a glow stick if you don't want them to mess with you while they're free roaming.
Nice.
Yeah.
As the first thing that pops up on here is obviously, two of my favorite things, snakes and kittens. So I love that those are two of your highlighted items as well. But so let's go through and talk about the band lineup and your music. Who do you guys have for that this time around?
So we have a lot more bands than last year, especially, because it's 2 days as well. So on Saturday, we have Karma Cat, Beat Up, Tattoo Logic, who they played with us last year and they've been super supportive. They also played for a promo event that we had in October. Nick's the Scientist, The While, Florence Cardigan. I just saw their show the other day. They're amazing. And House Guest. And then on Sunday, we have the Young Frankensteins, appropriate, Jacket, Hypersleep, Swear Jar, Parking Garage, Second Nature, and Roommate. So 7 bands a day. Wow. And they're all awesome.
God.
Yeah, we had a lot of signups this year. It was super exciting to go through and listen to everybody. There's just so much music in Athens.
Did you have to turn people away?
We did. It was kind of heartbreaking. There were a lot of good musicians out there, and I'm sorry to anyone that didn't make the cut because they're all awesome.
Yeah.
if it's too personal, feel free to tell me. But what made the difference for you on deciding whether or not to ask a band to play?
We really had to look at a lot of different angles. If anyone had a Spotify, we'd listen to the Spotify. If anyone had, videos on their Instagram, we'd listen to that. Of course, they submit their own videos and they're all live performances. So you can kind of hear both recorded and live. And then a lot of it, because we're still such a young festival business, we have to look at popularity, because we have to be like, even if a band is like slightly better than another band, if one of them has an incredible amount of followers, it's like you're the one who's going to bring the people to the festival.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not that anyone is more or less talented necessarily. It's just the marketing aspect. And so it's tough when you have to think about those kinds of things when you're picking people because but it all kind of went into a system and then everyone was like on a list and we were having to mark people off. And it's really hard too when you're like, we're friends with a lot of musicians in Athens, and so it's really hard to turn people away, especially if you know them and you're like, it's not personal. I swear, like I will go to your shows all day long, but it's a business decision, and so it's hard. But they are all awesome, and we're super thankful for everyone who signed up. We gave anyone who was turned away got like a 50% off discount to come to the fest.
That ain't bad.
And a good way to bring in more people.
Yeah, and to bring people back is just be like, hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we're gonna do it this way. What all is involved in the pumpkin painting? Because I see googly eyes, and that always makes me giggle.
Well, of course they can't be real pumpkins because it's in April. But I did get a bunch of little like plastic pumpkins, and we got all sorts of painting supplies. I have an excess of craft supplies because I have a really bad habit of finding them and I'm like, I'm going to do something with that one day. And then I never do. So I just have boxes and boxes of things I can bring.
Leslie.
Yeah.
Things with them, just not all of them and not all at once. And, they store so nicely. They just get
Yeah, right? Yeah. Kindred spirits. But
yep.
So I've got googly eyes, I've got feathers and all sorts of crazy stuff, markers, I'll bring anything that seems like it would be fitting. But that'll be a fun little table, though, something people can sit down and do. And we also have larger pumpkins that you can buy and paint because they're like, they're a little more expensive. And also like these ceramic sugar skulls, and they're like cat sugar skulls and dog sugar skulls.
Oh, nice.
So if the parents or anyone artsy comes that's older, they can like just sit down and paint and have good fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that'll be a good thing to have, especially for just kind of the whole group of, hey, come in, do something fun.
Yeah.
And what does this say about trivia?
Yeah, so that's a new thing too. I don't know if it was the brewery or what it was that sparked that idea, but one of my buddies, Eric, who's been working with us this year, he's really good at making games. And so I was like, hey, Eric, could you like write up a trivia, like a horror themed trivia that we can do? And then maybe we'll give away like a basket of goodies from the vendors or something to whoever wins. And Southern Brewing also is giving away discounts on beers and things as prizes throughout the trivia night.
Oh,
but
nice.
Eric, like, as soon as I said that, he got it done. It was amazing. I like checked the Google Doc right after I sent the text, and he was typing. And I was like, wow, this is amazing.
He was excited about it.
Oh, yeah. But I'm sure he's going to make way too many, and then we'll have to cut him down. But I'm excited to see.
Always better have too many.
If I want to prepare myself to exceed your expectations at the trivia, what should I study?
Wow, it's really broad. There's all sorts of categories. It can be anywhere from like spooky lore from the olden days, or it can be movies, or it can be, related to haunts, or, any sort of spooky related things.
If it gives you chills, then chances are it may show up.
Murderers, if you got any murder.
Yes.
Yeah, see? She's in with the murderer. That's me.
They're fun in the sense of they're absolutely horrifying, but I can't keep reading about them.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay. I can't handle it anymore. We have to talk about this. What did
The
you call it?
suspension? Flesh suspension.
Flesh suspension.
Yes.
Tell me
So
more.
I'm just gonna start from the beginning because I was so excited about this when it came up. I have the same form that you fill out if you're a musician or an entertainer. And last year we didn't really get many entertainers. We had the UGA Juggling Club and that was awesome. But it was like really obvious, it says UGA Juggling Club. But this time I was going through the bands and it said Cyanide Suspension. And I was like, that's a band, And then I click on it.
That sounds like a band, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm seeing like all of these like bloody pictures of like people with hooks in their backs, like hanging and doing human blockhead with a nail on their nose and all this. And I was like, that is not a band.
Oh, I see.
And they were willing to come, and they're from South Carolina. Super awesome freak show. They do fire stuff like fire breathing and fire dances and things like that. Glass walking, and the flesh hook suspension is their specialty. And I had never seen that before. Apparently it's all over TikTok. I've had friends tell me about it, but
I found out about it when I was in high school.
yeah, it's crazy stuff though.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really thrilling, and they are offering for anyone who wants to do it, they can make an appointment or just show up on site, and they will pierce you on site and hang you by hooks. And
wait. They will dangle me?
Yeah, they will dangle you. They will.
Okay, I'll send you some.
Yeah, I just clicked on the link. And I just have to read this out loud so that our listeners can hear. But definitely go check out HauntFest's website. You can find it through the Haunting You website under the events page. But this is what it says about Cyanide Suspension. Cyanide Suspension specializes in flesh hook suspension and freak show acts, focusing mainly on the art of body horror. They will be performing throughout the evening on both nights in the 18+ section. Shows are free, but if you'd like to attempt a flesh hook suspension, please schedule an appointment. Walk-ins are also accepted.
I just sent you a link to an image.
I'm afraid to click.
Man, do I know what's coming to a room?
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
The one I picked is much more artsy than horror. But again, there's a lot of different ways that it's done.
Oh, yeah. But I was just.
Have you ever seen The Cell?
excited.
Did you ever see The Cell? The movie The Cell when it came out? Jennifer Lopez,
I did
Michael
not see that,
D'Onofrio?
no.
Okay.
No. Roseann, have you done this?
I have not done it, no.
Are you going to?
I probably will not have a real opportunity. I'm going to be running around, all right? I can't be hanging around.
That's fair. You got to have both
Oh,
on the ground. Holy crap. That's terrifying.
That's why it's in the 18+ section, but
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, fair. Totally fair.
Yeah.
no,
It's also has a relationship to body lacing.
yes,
Okay.
which I recently found out about that after the suspension thing. I didn't know that was a thing, and that's beautiful. Like, yeah, I wonder if they ever do any of that because they really do like the piercing stuff. So I'll have to ask. But yeah, that's one crazy new addition. And when I saw what it was, I about passed out. I thought it was so cool. They're all also like professionally trained scare actors and everything.
Yeah.
And they've got the makeup going, they got the shows, and I was like, this is incredible. And they're coming from South Carolina and they're doing it for free. And this is just like a dream come true.
That's
I was
awesome.
shaking.
So just for all of our families who are wondering, we do have kids. How do we make sure they don't accidentally end up in the 18 and over? How do you guys have it set up to keep that age restriction in place?
So the plan right now, because it's just a big field, we're going to have caution tape roping off that section, and there'll be a big sign that says 18+ or R rated or something, and underneath it'll be like, just be careful with your kids, basically. I'm hoping, if there's any 4-year-olds running around, they're probably not going to run, off. It's such a big place. I'm not too worried anyone's going to sneak under the rope, but we will have like security out there. So if there is a problem, though, they can go snag the kid and bring him back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have any sort of, NSFW stuff in there. Because last year we just had stuff out in the open, and I got a few comments after that. They were like, my kids saw boobies. And I was like, oh no. So we're going to have to fix that this time. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
it happens.
Now you mentioned the scare actors. Are you guys still accepting some, or are you full up?
Oh no, we are accepting anyone who wants to come help, whether it's scare actors or general volunteers. We always need more help, and especially with parking, how that went last year. We'll accept people up until like the day before the event, because I do make schedules ahead of time. So please do sign up ahead of time if you are doing it. But we could use as much help as we can get. So I'm not going to turn someone away if they show up last minute. But
how would they go about that? How would they go about?
So on the homepage, sorry, on the homepage of our website, there's a button that says scare actors, and then there's another one that says general volunteers, and those take you directly to the form that you fill out to be a volunteer, and then we'll contact you after the form's filled out.
Perfect. That's not bad. Yeah, I was assuming you can never have too much help on something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, and especially with the trail being so long this year. Like last year it was just like a little hut, and this year it's a pretty good trail. I mean, it's one that you can get lost in it. So
how long do you think it takes to walk it?
Sorry.
How long do you think it'll take to walk it?
I guess it depends how scared you are.
Fair.
I couldn't tell you right now, to be honest, because we're still working on having like little booths in between that are themed, and so there may be some stops. So it's really hard to know. But in the end, you'll be running. So
yeah,
running out of the trail.
It seems like you're trying to capitalize on a number of people's different fears. I want to talk a little more about the reptiles here for a second, because I adore them. Where are they coming from? Who's bringing them? How do we get to interact? All of that.
So last year we had them as well. The Georgia Reptile Society is coming and bringing them, and they have all sorts of people just in the club that have the snakes. And so they'll just come with their snakes and be like teaching you about the snakes, and you can like pet them, whatever. And then I think it's a $10 donation. You can hold a big old snake, take pictures with it.
Nice.
And so that's how they can help, support the animals and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Leslie's on her way with a fistful of cash.
Yes,
but they were really great. We got some really awesome pictures last year from them. All sorts of people holding snakes, and they were right by the door, so there was really no escaping them. If you were afraid of snakes, you had to scoot by them. But they've been super supportive, and they told me after that last festival, they were like, if you ever do anything again, I'm going to be mad if you don't reach out to us.
I do appreciate how they are the top of the page on the activities page on their website.
Oh yeah, I love that photo too.
It's a really good photo.
Yeah, that was from the Renaissance Festival. I can't take credit for that one, but it's fitting.
It's super fitting. Super fitting.
And then just the next one with the Circle of Friends Animal Society's Athens Cat Foster Program.
Yeah, is this like an adoption program or?
Yes, they bring the cats and they dress them up. This was a photo from last year, actually. It's on the website.
I love the little voodoo.
Oh yeah, they were so cute. We had bunnies and all sorts of different, or bees. I don't know why I said bunnies. All sorts of fun costumes for them, but they will come and they let you hang out with the cats, kittens, all sorts of fun stuff. They were in a room last year, but again, this year it's going to be outside. So I'm guessing it'll be like a little fenced in place, and you can go in there and, wallow around on the ground with some kittens. So our whole thing last year was like, don't be a fraidy cat. If you get spooked, just go hang out with the kittens. Yeah, we love them, and they got a lot of donations last year. They were super responsive about it with me, because I like to go back and ask, how did you guys do? Because I don't really get to see anything because I'm running around the whole time.
Right.
They said I can't remember how many cats it was that they could cover with the amount of money that they got, but it was enough to be really significant.
That definitely makes them want to come back again.
Yeah.
Right.
You mentioned earlier your dad did all the food last year. What do you have planned for this year? So hopefully he doesn't have to be doing that.
Yes. We definitely got food trucks this year because last year was crazy. And we were really just more worried last year about making sure everyone was fed. It wasn't really like a money maker or anything. It was like $1 for a hot dog or something. But yeah, no, we reached out to as many food trucks as we could, trying to see who might be interested in coming. And Cafe Racer was the first one to come in and be like, "Oh, like hell yeah, we'll do that." And they are at like every Athens event. It is
Yeah.
crazy. No matter what happens here, they have a truck there.
What kind of food?
They have burgers and fries, but they do have like vegetarian. I want to say vegan, but I'm gonna be careful. At least vegetarian options. And we've got a couple more lined up, or I say a couple more. We have one lined up, but I don't know if I should say their name yet because they're not completely paid
That's fair.
off.
That's fair.
But there should be one other food type, maybe tacos, that will be there. And so I'm super
All
excited.
hail tacos.
Yes. Gotta love a taco truck.
Got a little taco truck. So
Yeah.
a couple of food trucks, and then of course the brewery to provide all of your
Nice.
libations as needed.
Yes. And they are doing spooky cocktails for us that weekend as well.
Ooh.
Nice.
Won't just be beer. Yeah.
Can you give any hints
Hints on the
on
what the
spooky
cocktails.
Yeah, have they told you
I-
anything?
Honestly, I have no idea at all. They just they're like, we got some colored stuff. We could do some little potions for you. No idea what's in them, but maybe I'll find out next time I head over there.
Fair. And I think, in my mind at least, what really sets your events apart, the Harpold Manor s'mores, making you come
Oh,
back
yeah.
again.
Yeah, it's the biggest event of them all. Yeah, so my dad, he has his little booth. He likes to sell all his spooky things as well. So we're Harpold Manor. That's what we call the haunt that we did at my house growing up, was Harpold Manor. So anyway, he's going to be selling little baggies of s'more stuff. So there'll be, I think, 2 fire pits. I think my business partner's bringing an extra one. So we've got fire pits all around and you can s'more it up.
Love
So-
it.
Awesome.
Fresh s'mores all night long.
And you said that this is Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's an hour from my corporate headquarters. I just need to plan a corporate. I just need to plan a business trip and then extend it a couple days and go play with snakes and
Lovely.
kittens.
Yes.
Are you planning to write this off?
Well, not this part. It's the before part. I have my
Okay.
Yeah,
standards.
you putting down business expense s'mores.
Okay, before we go any further, I think we need to take a moment to hear from our sponsors, and then we'll jump right back into it with Roseann Harpold from Hauntfest April Ghouls.
And thank you for that lovely word from our sponsors, who, without them, we would have a much shorter show.
It's accurate.
Filed under technically correct.
Thank you for that, Les.
Welcome. I try.
you, left,
So we
you left me speechless.
excellent. I get points for that, right?
Mhm.
So we've talked quite a bit about everything that you have going on with this, but I think there's still a few things that we have not really touched on. So the one that I'm really excited about on top of everything else is the ghost stories.
Yes, so my business partner, Abigail, she just joined me this past year and she is an avid reader. And so she brought up the idea of having horror authors come do book signings. And I was like, oh, that's genius. And so she started reaching out to all the horror authors that she knew. And then she was like, what if we did a thing where we had the horror authors read an excerpt from one of their books or some sort of ghost story around the fire pit so that people get to hear what they're writing and they get to, have a fun ghost story night because it's also fitting. So we're super excited about that. There's some time slots and they're all filling out different slots. But I'll name off a few of the authors that are coming just because.
Please. I love this idea.
Yeah. So William Sterling is one of them, and he was with us last year. He helped out a lot. He was a sponsor, and so he's actually vending this year. Super excited to have him back. We've got Frightful Fables and Tales from the Gas Station, which Abigail is like absolutely obsessed with Jack Townsend. and she about passed out. That was her exciting moment.
Yeah.
Like my cyanide suspension, she had Jack Townsend, and she called me immediately when she found out that he'd sign up, and she was like hyperventilating, and I was like, what is wrong with you? And she's like, you have to be joking with me. He didn't actually. And I was like, what's happening? I didn't understand. And then she's like crying of joy, and then she's like, oh, sorry, I have to go, I'm in lab. I was like, there's no way. This girl just flipped out in lab crying.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Anyway, super excited that he's coming. He's also been he's a sponsor, and he made this amazing blog post about the event that really pulled some more people to the page. So
awesome.
Nice.
Really cool.
Any chance you can send me that so I can add a link to it in our show notes?
Absolutely, yes. Lots of authors, and there's a couple more pending right now, so there will be more probably, but those are the ones that I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I absolutely love that as an idea. That's something that we have started doing for our Halloween episodes. Every year we read spooky stories that we've loved. So to see that go live, like, that's really cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Well, especially to highlight authors and just, again, give people a chance to bring their own creativity.
Oh, yeah. And if anyone out there is a writer, I mean, you don't have to have written a book to do this. So if you want to come read a story, we can add you to the list. And also the point of having the 2 fire pits was, one is like, if you just want to hang out, and then the other one is like activity fire pit. Come listen to stories and do all the things and have your s'mores. And so that's why Abigail is bringing hers, because she's like, I want them to have their special little spot, so it's not too loud, not too close to the bands, and so
it's s'mores and ghost stories. I mean, what more could you need? Like,
right around a fire? Come on.
With haunted cocktails.
With haunted cocktail. Holy crap! It sounds like it's gonna be a great night,
right?
Oh yeah.
And beyond all of that, go ahead, John.
I was just going to say. So the other thing you mentioned that I haven't really, I think is so unique, is you said there's a car show going on for this one.
Yes,
but not just any cars.
So last year, one of our vendors, Bettina Wasserman, she is really awesome. She does Wicked World, incredible booth. But she brought her hearse last year, and it was a hit. I mean, everyone was taking photos with it. And I even got a comment. I did a survey last year on everyone, and someone was like, I wish I had more time with that car. I was like, maybe I can do something with that. And I know there's like a few people in Athens that are good friends that have hearses. So I was like, maybe, I can ask them, or maybe there has to be more people with hearses if these 3 all know each other.
Yeah. And surely they know others, because that's kind of a tight-knit community.
Yeah. And so now I've been joining all these hearse Facebook groups and everything. I'm like, anyone want to bring their hearse?
I'd love to
I've
see what
had
your algorithm looks like right now.
Right.
We've gotten some interest, so we'll see how many we can rack up. But yeah, I want to stick as many spooky cars out there as we can. And it's also open to people who want to show their car that's not a spooky car, as long as you make it spooky. So you've got to decorate your car if you're going to bring it. And there's like on the website, there's a place, I think it's called Haunted Car Showcase, where you can submit photos of your car. Just make sure if it's a normal car, it is decorated in the photos, because we need to know that you're serious about this.
We need to see dedication here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No slackers.
I need to clarify. Is the excessive rust on my bumper scary? Because it terrifies me.
I mean, does
Only
it look
if you're in
lucky,
cars.
or... But Bettina with the hearse, she is like a magical person, because the other day she messaged me and she was like, you should have this guy at Haunt Fest. And she sent me this YouTube video of this guy with a Ghostbusters car. It was like built up just like the car from the movie.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I'm just like, oh, he must live in like Minnesota or somewhere like that is not here. And I looked up in Athens, Georgia. I was like, what?
No way.
We've got at least 2 here in Denver.
Still, that's amazing.
Wow, I didn't know that was like a normal thing to do. Wow. I love it.
For a given value of normal.
Yeah. Like the Ghostbusters car club.
And I was going to say, is this the guy who just did it because he loves it? Or because I know, like in Southern California, there is a Ghostbusters club that will actually go around and do parties and things. Like they're all dressed up. They have the Ecto One. It's a whole thing. I met him at Midsummer Scream last year. Is it similar here in Athens, or is this just like an enthusiast who made the Ecto One?
If I'm being completely honest, I don't really know now that you've said that. I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either until I ran into them. Right?
But I mean, he is a film teacher, so I was like, maybe it is an
okay.
enthusiast thing. But he does have all the costumes, so.
Yeah.
And we're filming a promo video coming up, and he was like, "Yeah, I can like insert all of the like streams, so you can be tackling a ghost in the video." And but what's really amazing about that whole thing is, you know, I saw his YouTube. That's all the information I had on this guy. I could not find him anywhere. Like he is hidden, and I had to put a 15-year-old on it. I was like, I know you can find him. And like the next day, she sends me this link that's got like information. I was like, I don't know how you found this. I had to write this man a letter.
This is some dark web stuff right here.
It was amazing. So when I saw that, I got a text from some random number. I was like, who is this? And he's like, oh, I'm the Ghostbusters guy. And I was like, no way. There's no way that work.
See, John, I
So
saw
that's right here. Like,
we need a kid to run our social media.
Sorry, well, I missed that.
I was talking to John. I'm like, see, John, I've told you we need to get a kid to run our social media.
Oh, yes.
Well, mine's too young.
Yeah, his son is like 3.
Oh, well, he's still maybe better than all of us. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's definitely better.
Hey, I'm looking at you.
That's good. You got the older kids.
That's true. My 10-year-old. I don't know though. Like, I know my son. I don't think I want his thoughts out in the world.
Oh goodness.
Walker stuff out of the world.
Yeah,
I was going to say, Walker's
being
are more dangerous. The younger one is scarier. That's quite possible.
We were talking about getting grounded the other day, and my 8-year-old comes out with, I know a way to get grounded. Like when you take a picture and throw it at your sibling and it has glass and it cracks and cuts them and they bleed. Yes, that will get you grounded, son. And my wife and I are just looking at each other like, where the hell did that come from?
Oddly specific.
It's very, very specific. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm keeping my eyes open now.
Plotting.
Plotting, exactly. Okay, we have not yet talked about my personal favorite thing, shopping. If I want to do some shopping, what are you going to have available?
All sorts of things. We already mentioned the authors, and they're doing book signings and selling their books, but we also have like a myriad of things. We've got jellies from the Cryptid Cannery. That is like, I always love finding businesses that are automatically, like they're not normally scary businesses, but they make them scary all the time. And so when I see something like the Cryptid Cannery, and like last year we had Ghoul Next Door that does creepy cookies. I'm like, this is just like, there's other people out there that like Halloween year round. It's just great.
Tell me more about the Cryptid Cannery. What do they do?
So they do jams and jellies, and they have all I know. And they've got all these like spooky stickers for everything and their logo.
Nice.
And all. I'm pretty sure they design all of the monsters and stuff for their cans.
Yeah.
Well, their jars, I think, but it looks delicious. So there's like foodie things like that. We've got Wicked Tuft coming that does tufted rugs, and they're actually
nice.
Like they're all spooky tufted rugs. Evil Twin Clay Company is another one that's Halloween in your face. And it's like Halloween earrings and all these like handcrafted things like that. We've got, I'm just naming a few random ones here, but Holy Fire Forge is coming.
I was going to ask about that one. Knife maker, I assume.
He makes like knives and swords and all sorts of things, but he brings his forge with him. So he like blacksmith there, and you can see him working. And it's really great at night because he'll be hitting it, and there's like sparks
flying, and oh my gosh, that's a show in of itself.
Oh yeah, and he's also a weightlifter. On his Instagram is world's strongest blacksmith, and so he's always posting him lifting weights.
Yeah.
And so I reached out and I was like, hey, weird question, but would you want to like do that at the festival? Like, would you want to like every hour or something, like lift something really heavy and make a show out of it. He's like, yeah. So,
Let's do it.
yeah.
You
So-
gotta get him and the
cyanide suspension.
yeah, you gotta get him and cyanide suspension together and have him like dangling people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's hanging the pulling the hook up.
Exactly.
It's genius. I talked to them about that. Yeah. But yeah, you can also get a leather stuff, crocheted stuff. I'm trying to just look through the list here.
What is Namaste Tchotchkes?
They do all sorts of different things. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to say wrong, but I'm pretty sure they do like crystal things and all sorts of like witchy things. Like I think they've got cards and things like that. And the young crone also is with them.
Young crone, I like that.
Yes. Under the Slab does like, I don't know what material it is. It's some sort of mineral rock that they carve things into, and it's all spooky stuff, spooky little carvings.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure they have some other things too. But there's a lot. It's like anything that you can imagine.
What about forgive me if I butcher this, Empyrean laser?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I've never said it out loud, so I'm gonna
That's
say
fair.
that you're right, but I don't know.
You know what do they do?
They
Like
do like
scratching?
laser work, so I'm not sure how it works, but I know they somehow do something in a laser and then it shoots the thing on the wood and then
Oh, so like laser etching.
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they do all sorts of different etching things. So
Yeah.
and we do like vendor highlights every week. So on our Instagram, which is at hauntfit.athens, you can go check out individual vendors and including the food trucks and all of that. We try to highlight everybody. So soon we're going to have to start doing bi-weekly highlights because we're getting so many vendors then be able to hit everyone each week. But yeah, so if you want to see photos of any of the artwork or if you want to see their tags and go to their pages, that's where you can find that information.
Perfect.
I think the important thing with this one is we make sure that we watch Kay's, business card during this. Watch his cards that
What are you implying?
I think you know what I'm implying is that you buy everything.
You're less you're more a hazard than I am.
Leslie, you are our financial person, and that's why I don't consult with you when I go to bed. You tell me no.
No, I tell you, check with your wife.
I'm picturing you with like a Grinch-sized sack and just throwing things in left and right.
It's about right. You're not wrong.
Oh, one big thing that I always mention this and I just forgot, but taxidermy is like a huge thing. Any sort of like oddity, like jewelry with bones, or I'm pretty sure Wicked World has like some, what are they called? The ones in liquid. Help me. You know what I'm talking about?
Like in jars. Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of like cool, spooky, like witchy animal art or like bone art, which is I love that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys have been to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo before, but they're like a huge inspiration to me. They have all sorts of taxidermy and stuff like that.
Sure.
Nice.
But
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to take a moment and talk about some of your sponsors, give them a shout out?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you guys, Haunting You as a sponsor and sponsored last year. So y'all are amazing. I love you guys.
Appreciate that. I got to be honest, like we had a solid boost the weekend that your show went. Like we could visually see a spike in people who checked out the website, checked out and downloaded episodes. So we
That's
really
awesome.
appreciate the partnership with you because we got something out of it as well.
Yeah, I'm super glad. So just to mention some of the venues, because like Southern Brewing, obviously a big shout out to them because they're letting us use their venue. B&B Theaters, we did an event with them back in October, and Sauce House the same. We had a Halloween party there that was helping to promote the festival. And they also just today donated a gift certificate for the raffle basket. So they just keep coming back for more. I'm like, wow, you're already a sponsor, but now you're like up here, Awesome. William Sterling, who's one of the authors, he's also the host of Killer Mediums podcast. He donated some books and things of his, for the raffle basket. Whimsy Loops donated this cute. I'm gonna have to show you this because it's so cute.
Okay. Sorry,
It's-
listeners, you're not going to get to see it. Oh my gosh. That is
This little
adorable.
crochet ghost.
Okay,
I
so
love
it.
Oh,
That's
that's
great.
so great.
We have Dark Knight Oddities is donating the raffle basket. Tales from the Gas Station. So Jack Townsend again, super great. Holly V. Hutch Designs. Clay Hinson Sound and Lighting is giving us a great deal on the music stuff. So they're coming and being the sound techs and all that.
Mhm.
So huge shout out to them. Oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher the name again. What'd you say it was?
I went with Empyrean.
Empyrean?
Empyrean. Listeners, pronounce it
Empyrean.
yourself.
Spell it. Put it in the chat for me because I can't find it for some reason.
It's right
It's on
next
the
to
sponsor
Haunting
page.
You podcast on this one.
That's because I'm looking at the wrong page.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
This is
Okay.
probably terribly butchering it, but every time I read it, I want to say Empyrene. Empyrene. Like, no, that can't be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a pretty cool logo, though. I dig it.
Yeah, super
Yeah,
cool
they do.
logo.
Let's see. I mentioned Killer Mediums and then Little Decisions podcast. This is actually run by this woman named Victoria who came to the festival last year. And at the end of the survey she filled out, she's like, I actually have this podcast about kindness. Like, would you do that with me? I was like,
Aw.
that's really sweet. And so we
Nice.
just did that the other day. She's awesome. And I think she wants to learn more about you guys because I mentioned you.
Feel free to pass along our
all right.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, huge shout out to everyone that has donated anything, money, space, anything for the raffle basket. And, you know, any prizes that we can get are great because that means we can do more games.
Yeah.
But, you know, without the
Mhm.
prizes, it's hard. So
Think
Also,
anyone
I
would
have
want a Haunting You t-shirt?
absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
We
There
still
you
have a
go,
few left
giving
over,
away
right?
my shirt
Yeah, we
again.
do.
Yeah, drop us your address and we'll send you a t-shirt you can use as a giveaway.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome. But,
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a bunch.
That's great. Yeah, no, people will love that stuff. We had some last year from, what was it? The Halloween t-shirt company.
Oh
donated
my god, I love them.
They're amazing.
They're great.
Mhm.
They've taken a lot of my money.
Yeah, the shirts are really awesome. I love those shirts.
Yeah,
Also, I have to mention Summit Historic Properties. They don't have a logo. That's my dad's company.
Uh-huh.
But he does so much for us. It's not even funny. Like, this haunt is going to be a lot of him going out there with a hammer and nails, figuring stuff out. So, you know, I know he's my dad, but also he's amazing just as a person. So
Yeah. It's awesome having someone supportive like that in your corner.
Right.
yeah. And to anyone listening, if you go to the sponsor page, you can click on any of the logos and it'll take you to their page, their Instagram or their website or whatever. If it's a podcast, you can listen to their podcast just clicking on the link. So please do so because we love them.
Love it. Love it. Well, what have we missed? What have we forgotten to talk about?
I don't know. You may have hit everything. I say that, but I'll remember.
Okay, while you're thinking, go through your social media website, everywhere that people can find out more information about HauntFest April Ghouls.
All right. So Instagram I mentioned earlier, but it's at hauntfest.athens. And we currently have a lot of giveaways going on. So just like check up on it every now and then because we've usually got some sort of deal going on. And our Facebook is the page itself is HauntFest LLC because that's like the business page, but then the group for the event is HauntFest April Ghouls. And there's also an event within that's HauntFest April Ghouls 2024. All sorts of different events within that for promotional stuff. So just peek at the website at HauntFest LLC and you'll see all of that there. And then other contact info is on the website. You can contact us through the contact page. What am I missing? Oh, the website, I guess, is, again, www.hauntfest.us. I always say us, and then I hear other people say US. That's what it's supposed to be.
It works. It works.
Yeah, fair enough.
But listeners can find links to all of those right in the show notes for this very episode to make it nice and easy to connect with HauntFest in any way that works best for you.
Oh, and the one thing I just saw that I forgot to mention,
Always.
floor price is $20. So please get your tickets ahead of time. It's $5 less. or like it's only $5 more to get both days if you get them ahead of time.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
Just go ahead and do that, and it helps us out. It's like an RSVP kind of deal.
Did you get an idea of how many people are coming?
Honestly, no clue, but I'm guessing a lot more than last year because we have already a lot more tickets sold now than we did last year. But
Yeah, and
luckily, it's a bigger venue, so
we're still 2 months out right now.
yeah. But last year, the door sales were insane. It was like 3 times the amount of pre-sale tickets.
Wow.
So if you don't want to wait in a line, please, dear God, buy tickets now.
Do this early.
Yes.
So that's Hauntfest Mayhem happening Saturday, April 6th and Sunday, April 7th in Athens, Georgia. $15 per day or $25 for both days. You can find all of those tickets on their website. Buy them now.
Yay.
Okay. Anything else before we wrap it up with Roseann?
Just me remembering the one thing that I forgot just now.
What was it?
Hey, there you
The
go.
hayride.
We're talking about the car show.
The hayride.
Oh, hayride.
Ooh. I'm good for
Tell us about the hayride.
Oh, are we still rolling? All right.
We're rolling.
Yeah.
So the hayride, because parking was crazy last year, we're really trying to work it out this year as best as we can. Southern Brewing parking is also a pain. They already have people lined up on the street on a normal Saturday. So I went around to the businesses surrounding Southern Brewing and asked, can we use your parking lot on these days? And they're like, so we got a lot of businesses that said yes to that, and there's street parking and all that, but we don't want people to have to walk super far. So we were like, what if we made it fun? So we've got a hayride that's going to be going.
You have a hayride
to
connected to the parking lot.
pick people up and take them
Nice.
in. Loop.
That's right.
And
So cool.
I do want to mention this just because I think it's a really amazing story, and this guy is incredible. On my mom's birthday, we went to a hibachi place, and we sat next to these guys that they're like country boys. It was like one of those weird situations where you want there to be a chair in between the families because there's like, it's just weird, when you don't know these people. So we were all having our own separate conversations for a while, and then one of them spoke up, and they were like, "Hey, like, how are you guys doing tonight?" And so we started chatting, and they started learning more about us. We started learning more about them. They're like, "Yeah, we own this and this farm and all this." And my dad brings up the festival, and of course, I'm like a little nervous about it. I'm like, "Did they really want to know about this?" But then I was like, "You know what? We're actually looking for a hayride. You guys have any connections that could help us with that?" And the guy's just like, "Oh, I'll do it." I've been meaning to do more stuff for the community.
Nice.
I love that.
And then they bought all of our dinners.
What? Oh, that's awesome.
So just strangers that you meet at a hibachi place, and now we got
That's so
a
nice.
and free meal.
Know. You never
was
know what's going to
amazing.
happen if you just strike up a conversation.
Right?
So shout out to Alan, because that's awesome.
That's freaking awesome. That's so
Hopefully
cool.
we'll have that up on the website soon, and we'll have like a parking plan so you'll know like where you can and can't park and all that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And people will want to know where the hayride is running so they can park
Heck
here.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll have a little trail like drawn out or something, but closer to time.
Yeah, of course. That is absolutely fantastic. And I like watching how Hauntfest has evolved just over from the first event to this event.
Mhm.
You are making just the freaking leaps and bounds. It is so freaking cool to watch.
Mhm.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Now we just got to
Also
find a way to
scared.
get out there.
Please.
I said I'm gonna try and plan a business trip, honestly.
Yeah, so that is April 6th and 7th in Athens, Georgia. Definitely go check out their website at hauntfest.us or hauntfest.us, however you feel today. Roseann, thank you so much for taking the time out to come chat with us. Tell us all about Hauntfest. It looks like it's going to be a ton of fun, and I hope you have just all kinds of people come out and have a good time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It's always a blast.
Hey everyone, Keoni here, just cutting in real quick. So between the time that we recorded the podcast and when we're releasing it, the Hauntfest had a couple more announcements that they wanted to get out. So correction to what we talked about during the podcast, cyanide suspension will not do flesh hook hanging for the guests who are coming. However, they are doing gravity boot suspensions and saran wrap suspensions. So if you are interested in doing either of those, go check out the Hauntfest website, and you can sign up for appointments for that. And even more exciting is there is going to be a celebrity appearance at HauntFest. Ari Lehman, the actor who played the first Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th, is not only making a celebrity appearance on both days of HauntFest, April 6th and 7th, but he is also playing with his band, First Jason, on Saturday night starting at 11:30 p.m. You can pop by his booth on either day for a picture, autograph, and merch, and then rock with First Jason to end the night with a bang on Saturday. So, 2 super exciting announcements that happened after the podcast was recorded, and wanted to make sure we got that out to all of you. Back to the original.
Holy shit, HauntFest sounds like it's going to be just an absolute freaking blast.
Yeah, I definitely need to plan a road trip
Yes,
sometime
you
around
totally need to see if you can make a business trip. You totally need to see if you can make a business trip
there.
work.
Yes, turn this into a
That would be
business trip.
blast.
I think you should. That's a good use of company money. I love it.
The best use of company money. Absolutely. Oh, freaking love it. Well, it is, of course, the first of the month, and so we have to take a moment to hear what is happening in the world of the Chamber of Haunters. So let's take a moment and have a
Chambers Corner.
The Haunting You podcast is the official podcast of the Chamber of Haunters, and we like to take a moment every month to give them an opportunity to tell us everything that is happening within the world of the Chamber. So let's see what the president, Mr. Robert Knowlton, has for us this month.
The Chamber of Haunters will be offering a 50% discount for anyone joining during Transworld's HAA show from March 7th to the 10th, 2024. The Chamber of Haunters will have a booth at the inaugural East Coast Haunters Convention in April 2024. Please plan on stopping by to visit us and see what we can do for you. We have also had some new additions to our Chamber Board of Directors and are excited for all that we have in store for our members in this industry with new ideas and ways in which to move forward. Please know that we are here for you and hope to be able to serve you. If interested in joining the Chamber of Haunters, please go to our website at chamberofhaunters.com. Watch our Facebook page for the 50% off discount code, which can be used during Transworld's HAA show. The Chamber of Haunters hopes to see you there and get to know you better.
Alrighty, thank you for that update on the Chamber's Corner for what's going on with the Chamber of Haunters. What do we have up next?
Well, we are still deep into convention season, and so we'll be talking conventions for a while. However, it's time to start planning for our next haunt.
Can we get like a fancy table with actual blueprints?
I have news. It's official. The Coast Guard is sending me back to Maryland. That means Penguin Creek Estate is going to pick up right where we left off, kind of, sort of, ish.
As best as we can. Once we find all the
best as we can.
You need better.
Once we find the doors.
I'm a little bit worried about the doors because I loaded them all up into my box trailer and then I left them with my buddy Ty. He's got a property down in Southern Virginia and he was going to store it there for me. But they have just been sitting there in the trailer for, by the time I get there, the better part of 2 years. And I'm a little bit afraid of what has infested it.
I'm going to go with mold and fuzzy things.
That's kind of what I'm expecting. So
potentially live fuzzy things.
Fingers are crossed. We'll see what happens. But all that to
if
say,
it's fuzzy things, just add it to the haunt.
Just add it to the haunt. All of that to say, I don't know that we're going to be able to pull off a full Sanguine Creek Estates experience this year. But those are the things that we're going to be talking about in the upcoming episodes of the Haunting You podcast. So if you want to follow along, please go check us out on our website at hauntingyou.com, just the letter U, and find us on social media at facebook.com/hauntingyou and Instagram at hauntinguniversity. And definitely go check out all of the really cool content we have on our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/hauntingyou, just the letter U. Okay. Do we have anything else we need to talk about tonight, guys?
I don't think so. I think we've got pretty well covered. And if you are in the Georgia area of Athens, Atlanta, etc., definitely go check out HauntFest. They've got a really, really great lineup this year.
Get some s'mores, listen to music, listen to ghost stories. It sounds like it's going to be an absolute freaking blast. But in the meantime, we will call it a night. So from all of us here at Haunting You, stay spooky, my friends, and happy haunting.
Bye, everyone.
We are incredibly thankful to all the sponsors who make this show possible, particularly our premium sponsors, the Chamber of Haunters and Fear Expo. You can learn more at chamberofhaunters.com and fearexpolive.com. Check out the Haunting You podcast at hauntingyou.com for more information on everything that we do. Haunting You is a production of the Rocky Mountain Home Haunters, LLC. All audio clips and sound effects are used under a Creative Commons Attribution or Public Domain license from Purple Planet Music at purple-planet.com or the Sound Bible at soundbible.com. Please see the show notes for more information on all the clips used in this episode.
We're consummate professionals.